everyone. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Kiko.
Good to be here with you.
Yeah.
We are part of the plant-based bundle, the summer edition, and we decided to pop up so that we can talk about our contribution to the bundle. So, yes, is this your first? Okay, so is this your first bundle, Jamie?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Oh my God, first ever.
Yes, first ever.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
And you have contributed two books, is that right?
Yeah, I have two books. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Diary of a Recovering Food Addict and then the Ageless Beauty Method ebook.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about what we have contributed, but I just wanted to share my breakfast. My husband just delivered to me. It's a
What kind
juice.
of melon? Yeah, what kind of melon?
I don't know. It's a
It looks
cantaloupe.
like a honeydew.
Oh yeah, it must be a honeydew. Yeah.
Yeah.
So juicy. It's so good. I'm gonna be munching on that. Just a lot of people are asking what I eat. Usually I have a big smoothie, but this is early. I'm just starting with the juicy fruits. Yeah, so
What
maybe
so you're in Japan. What time is it where you are? It's morning where you are, right?
7 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, and at 3 p.m. in LA.
Yep. Yep, Los Angeles, California. Don't you just love technology, how we can connect from opposite sides of the world?
I know. It's just as if you are in my room. It's so cool.
So tell me, I'm like so curious because the last time we did a podcast together, you kind of interviewed me, but I didn't really get to know much about you. So I know you have a cafe. Like I don't know much about your story about how you even went raw or anything.
Oh yeah. So I have my first ever book, which I published last year, and that was in multiple bundle, and I decided to update my first book, Namado, My Raw Vegan Journey. I started my raw vegan journey over 22 years ago, 2004, and I've been wanting to write about my raw vegan journey because it has been an amazing transformation. I really thought that this should be at least reachable to this information of raw vegan lifestyle should be known to the public. So I'm just doing a little part of it. So I started my pop-up cafe over a year ago here in Kyoto, Japan. There's no raw vegan food restaurant in Japan. And yeah, so I have published two books so far. This year I published Namado 2, and I decided to do the first book updated version for this class.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah. I was
right.
skimming through a little bit. So I saw you had some health issues. You had like eczema and I forgot what. Tell me a little bit about how you even got into raw.
Right. So I had ovarian cyst, which I had operation in the late 2003, and I found out about this raw vegan lifestyle through my best friend now, and that resolved. Ovarian cyst pretty much disappeared within a few months. I don't know how long it took. I just know that it didn't come back as long as I stayed raw vegan diet.
Hmm.
And the eczema was something I had since I was child, but it just got really bad after September 11, and it was just very painful. It just went like a wildfire. So like my hands were always, it was pretty severe. It was just bleeding all the time. It was just pus,
Oh,
and I
wow.
just couldn't sleep. And my neck also was like dry and bleeding. And the joint part was bleeding as well. Yeah, so it was really, really annoying. I felt itchy like every single second. I feel like the itchiness is worse than the pain because I one of the worst pain, but it's like you can't sleep, right? Uh, yeah,
That's
so
awful. Wow. That's
mm,
crazy.
yeah, and funny thing, even now, if I don't pay attention to what I eat, I get that itchiness. And if I just eat fruits, my itchiness comes back.
If
A
you
lot of
if you eat anything other than fruit?
if I just eat fruits,
Yeah.
eczema comes back to me. Like
Oh, is it, do you think it's a candida thing? Like maybe it's not balanced out with like the
I don't know, but if I don't include tons of grains, it would come back.
wow.
It's interesting 'cause a lot of people,
Good to know. That's really good to know.
yeah, a lot of people believe that, fruit only is very clean and, meat free, and you can, you know, it's it's it could cure a lot of issues. But for me, I've noticed over 22 years, if I just eat like watermelon season is right now, and if I just eat watermelon, I would notice like irritated skin. So,
Isn't it fascinating how aware you have to be because everyone is so different? You know, that I really don't think there's like a one size fits all for everyone because we have, different genetics, different environment, you know what I mean? So
mm,
it's just so fascinating like what is works for one person may not work for another.
yeah, that's so true. But I do think greens are so important for most of the people. And, you know, fruits taste good, and it does sound like it's the true, given food to us. It's so appealing for many people. Yeah, when you look at the earth, I think greens is the major, it's we are given by greens. It's like I have garden and greens. I get fruits, but I have more abundance of greens than
It's
fruits.
interesting because when you're in the wild and you think of, oh, there's an abundance of fruit, you don't really see an abundance of fruit. You see an abundance of greens. The greens
Hmm.
are everywhere. Wow. I
Hmm.
never really thought of it like that. Like you have to go out of your way to forage fruit.
Yeah, exactly. So I do like to start with, some juicy fruits like this. But after this, I'm gonna have maybe twice as much as this big glass for green smoothies, and I try to make sure I get a lot of greens in my smoothie because that's the easiest way to take it. And it also helps me for, food cravings because I know we talk about food addiction, right? I have suffered with food addiction for a long period of time. So that balance is so important. Omega-3
It's
fatty.
interesting to see like what triggers your addiction compared to somebody else or my addiction because it's like we all have different things that are going to trigger whether it's emotional or blood sugar or um, just nostalgia too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. It's not just one thing that triggered me, used to trigger me. Now it's just very easy. I feel like I finally came out of this food addiction mode that just life is just so much more simpler, more peaceful. But it took a long time. I have been
Yeah,
on this
I was going to ask you, how long do you think it took? Because you said you've been raw for how many years? 20 years?
22 years since 2004.
Yeah, so it's a journey, right? So just going raw vegan in itself is not going to cure food addiction, or going fruitarian is not going to cure food addiction, or doing a lot of fasting is not going to cure food addiction. Like we actually have to put those habits into place. We have to stay mindful. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
amazing.
so true. Yeah, so I'm very happy with what I eat, and I feel very balanced. But yeah, how about you? What are you eating nowadays, Jamie?
I like to start my day with fruit as well. I'm trying to eat more raw and less cooked, but because I'm recovering from food addiction, I feel like it's like alcohol or any kind of drug. I feel like at any moment, I don't know if something's going to trigger me or I could go into a relapse. And run to the health food store and look for some kind of vegan junk food or something. So the last stretch of 100% raw was like a week and a half ago. I did 19 days straight and I had no cravings, no binging. Like it was very stable. Everything was really good. But then I had something in my life happen with a family member and I was on high stress and I couldn't do it. So I went on like a binge and I was like eating all kinds of stuff. So now I'm finally getting back into my groove and getting back to this food addiction recovery soup is what I've been eating. So I've been playing around with different foods to see what triggers me, not just what I eat, but how I eat it. So I notice if I blend my food into like a smoothie or a soup, it doesn't trigger the overeating or that binge addictive snacking as if I were to like eat it in a different way. So I've been blending my soup and what is it? Avocado, bell pepper, celery, cucumber, tomato, hemp seeds, maybe a little flax or a little chia if I feel like it. And then this week in particular, because I'm kind of coming off of that binge, I've been slowly trying to get the processed food out. And I'm adding a little bit of brown rice to the raw soup. So it's cooked brown rice in the raw soup. And I just starting today, I cut the rice portion in half. And then I think tomorrow I'm going to eliminate the rice completely. So that's kind of what being a recovering food addict is like, is, playing around with your diet and seeing what works. And, because sometimes you take a few steps forward and then you take a step back and then you have to kind of adjust. I've done the cold turkey thing, and now it's like I have to be more of a gradual person.
Yeah.
And I really have to take in consideration my nervous system and, am I grounded? What's my mood like? You know what I mean? Because everything kind of ties into, this emotional stability.
Yes, I totally agree. And like yesterday, it's a rainy season here in Japan, and I I was feeling for corn chips, and
Oh, I saw. That looks good. You did the raw corn with salt and pepper.
yeah,
I really want to try that.
I
Yeah.
was thinking like, oh, I can make corn chips, but it would take me half a day. But I want it now, and I've learned with this raw vegan journey. When you started this raw vegan journey, so focused on this mucus-less diet, you want to be as pure as possible. Like for me, I was just narrowing and narrowing, like, oh, this is, it's not organic, so I don't buy it. And oh, this is too much salt, so I don't eat it. And then like I was limiting so much, and that was not working because that just accelerated my food addiction. And then I would go to like, my husband, he likes eating bread. And so when he buys it, I start munching, and that's like the worst, like I just can't stop eating things like that.
I
So
know. I know.
now, even if I eat it, I know I can stop. If I taste it, I can stop. But because I'm over with that,
But
food.
it took a lot of self-discovery for you to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so I did that. I just had a bed of corn, fresh corn cut in my fridge. And I said, oh, why don't I just do salt and pepper? And that works amazingly. I felt so satisfied. So my body was just asking for corn, basically.
Wow.
Black
Yeah.
pepper. And I didn't think it would calm down. I had a little more banana. It's very simple. I don't have much in my fridge. I needed to go to the grocery store, but it was raining, so I was feeling lazy. I was getting late at night as well. So what I did was I did the rebounding. So the exercise is also very important, right? When you're feeling down,
Yeah. Well, even if, like you said, like if your digestive is sluggish, if you're constipated, and that anxiety could make you want to crave food as well.
right.
So I'm sure like the lymphatic system too, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, you mentioned about rice. Like rice to me is like one of the biggest food addictive food. I mean, I grew up
Yeah.
with rice, right? Right, and I can't stop eating rice in if I eat. So, and I also when I eat cooked food, this addictive mode comes back, and also I feel heavier and pessimistic. I don't know. Do you notice that, Jamie?
Oh, I notice everything. I notice all of it. I've been on the raw journey for 15 years now, and then vegan, plant-based for 20. So I've gone through the yo-yos, I've gone through the spirals, I've done the ups and downs, I've done the roller coasters, I've done um, every different type of raw diet. It's like I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
But you have decided to include rice because for
No,
me,
it's
if
not
I
that I decided to include rice. It's that when I binge, I feel like I'm not in control and I'll eat whatever. I'll eat anything. I'll eat vegan junk food, even bread. So I need something to, it's almost like a gradual step down from what I was eating. So like I was like, okay, I was having an emotional episode. I had, vegan junk food, like maybe avocado toast or something with like, bread. Maybe I had oil or something. So to come off of that, it's like a detox. So I need to, step down with like some brown
mm,
rice or something and then eliminate the brown
oh
rice.
yeah,
So that's kind of how I do it. Because if I go on a binge and then I just try to go right back to eating super clean, that triggers wanting to binge even more. So I have to have that gradual step down.
yeah, it's so important. Like this cold turkey. What I've noticed that most people, it might work for like a month or two, and also this juice feasting. It's very easy because you just for juice. And after coming out of feasting, I know a lot of people damage their gut microbiome
Yeah.
because they have been suppressing it. For me, juice feasting is like one of the worst um, ingredients to go food addiction. It's just suppressing, and dreaming of the food that you want to eat.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Okay. So the thing with that is it's the same thing with like trying to go raw. If you go from standard American diet and then try to jump cold turkey into eating raw without one, getting to the root of your addiction, and two, putting the healthy eating habits in place and getting really good at plant-based first. That, I
Mhm.
mean, because I wish I would have done that to begin with. And I think that my journey would have been a little bit more gradual and it would have been a little bit more, it would have been a lot more smooth probably because I kept going from standard American diet in the beginning to raw. And then I would go back to vegan to fruitarian and then, vegan junk food to fruitarian. You know what I mean? So it was
Mm.
always like a huge contrast, like a big polarity jump. And there's a lot of growth that comes with changing your diet. There's a lot of
Yeah.
hormones, there's a lot of emotions that come up that you're just not ready to equip to handle, and you may not feel like you can handle the intensity of things.
Mm.
So yeah, I definitely say you have to just get really good at what you're doing and then kind of gradually get there. And then over time, it's like the rabbit and hare, right? So yeah, but I
Yeah.
definitely think like getting to plant-based as soon as possible first,
Mm.
and then getting to raw for sure.
Yeah, and I love how open you are, and because it's not talked about much, right? Like this food addiction. Because a lot of people who goes into this raw vegan journey, we have a lot of different issues, not just health issues, but why we have health issues. Um, it was the eating habit we had, right? So this food addiction part, I feel like it was not talked about enough. And that's why I interviewed you. And if anyone's interested, you can watch it at Jamie's YouTube or my YouTube. And we talk about how we are dealing more in detail of how we dealt with food addiction, right?
Yeah, well, so one of my books in the bundle, The Diary of a Recovering Food Addict, talks a lot about this. But I was talking to JJ, I think it was yesterday, we did a podcast together, and think about it, right? So I see all these babies and the parents are feeding them baby food with a spoon, and they're like trying to get their attention, and they're shoving this food in their mouth, and the baby's kind of spitting it out and they don't really want it, and you know what I mean? And then like every time a baby is upset or whatever, like the first thing is our nervous system can't handle it. We're getting anxiety. So our first inclination is to try to calm them down so that we can calm down. So we, you know, like, what do we do? Like give them the bottle, you know, let's try and calm them down, give them the bottle or give them the breast or put a pacifier in their mouth. I just realized I have a clip in my shirt. The pacifier, right? So we're constantly soothing ourselves with this oral fixation and with food, and we're trained from birth to do this. So we are adults, we don't know how to emotionally regulate, and we're just looking for the next dopamine fix, and we're looking for that emotional regulation, and no one has really learned how to regulate. And no one's really asking like these important questions of, am I full? Am I hungry? Did I have enough? Is this nourishing my body? And food has become the center of entertainment in our world.
It's so true. And I have been a social butterfly, and, you know, I have been known as a social butterfly. Love going to meet new people and socialize. And because of my work back then, I was a consultant, so I was meeting new people, and lunch and dinner was part of work. So that made it a little more challenging for me. But, you know, the community definitely helps. Or, you know, again, we all need to find out who we are so we can, you know, create more peaceful, balanced life. For me, like, connection was so important. So you asked me, when did I overcome this food addiction? I only came out maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Over 22 years. Yeah,
Wow.
22 years.
Wow.
But, you know, I didn't realize, though, like, that I had food addiction.
I don't think anybody does. That's the thing. I don't think anybody really thinks this, because we have to eat. We have to eat. And there's nothing wrong with recipes and making food and enjoying your meal. I think it's the snacking all day that we end up doing. It's when we allow food to consume our thoughts to the point where it is interfering with our intimacy, our relationships. We're not being present with our kids or whatever the case may be, right? So food now becomes this filter between us and reality. And here's another thing too, is that what you eat matters, because if you're eating a very clean, nutritious, you know, healthy, let's say raw vegan diet, your life experience is going to be completely different from if you're eating high processed food, fried food, lots of oils, salts, sugar, candy, popcorn, whatever you're having. That's the filter that you're experiencing reality through. You know?
Yeah. So do you now go out, like, for social reasons, like going out with your daughter or your family member to restaurant?
So I stopped going to events that revolved around food. I stopped going to restaurants that revolved around food. I stopped going to I love raw vegan meetups, but I'm not hosting them right now. So I have somebody else that took over my meetup group, because I was just seeing how everything was revolving around food. And I knew that I had an addiction, and I knew that if I wanted to get to the root of this addiction, I needed to take a step back. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't ever be able to put myself in those situations again. It just means that it's like an alcoholic is not going to be able to get over alcoholism if they're going to bars every night. So that's just the decision that I made for myself so that I can heal this once and for all, because I'm looking at myself over the past 20 years and I'm like, why isn't this working? I actually need to put the work in to heal this, to get to the root. Oh my God, I'm having like so many amazing insights. But I do take my daughter to out to eat because she's 13 or 15, and she eats the standard American diet, whatever. So she likes to go out. So I will bring food with me when I go, and I will just eat my own food. And
they allow you to eat your food at the
they
restaurant.
do, yeah. Surprisingly, they do. Nobody ever says anything. And then when sometimes I will go to a restaurant like with a friend if it's a special occasion or something. But honestly, like I think making your meals at home is so important because you can put the love into it. You know what the ingredients are, and that's why this bundle's so good too. Because you know you have control over if you want to use oil, if you want to do oil-free recipes, if you want to add salt, you know how much salt is going into them. You can do, you can swap things out. So restaurants are expensive, you know what I mean?
Oh, true, especially in the States. But yeah, when I was
Oh,
working,
because you have a pop-up too, but I'm not to diss the restaurant or anything, but here it's very expensive in LA, like
yeah,
it's
you would feel great eating my food, and in this bundle, you can choose oil-free or salt-free, and it's so important to know what's in the food that you're eating, right? And I remember when I was working in a restaurant and also bakery, I realized
Mhm.
one of my favorite food, bread, had so much oil. Basically, it was oil and sugar. That's it. Basically,
Wow.
oil, sugar, and then a bit of wheat flour.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. After that, I realized I don't want to eat this anymore. When it, like desserts that I make as a raw vegan, I'm so
Yeah.
happy what I put inside. Like I don't use any sugar, just use
Hmm.
base and some nut base, and yeah, I feel
I
so much.
would, I would love to come to your pop-up if I ever came to Japan. We had a lot of raw vegan restaurants here in LA. A lot of them closed down. We have one left, and it's like a half hour away, so I never really
And you are
go.
in LA.
Yeah, I know. A lot of vegan restaurants, plant-based restaurants are closing down. I don't know if restaurants are doing good here. Honestly, I can't tell. So we've had a lot of plant-based restaurants also closed down. So there's a
Have you
few.
have you
Yeah.
tried the raw evolution? Takeout, they deliver to you.
I haven't, no, I have not. I think they used to actually have a restaurant in Santa Monica years ago that I did go to. So
Did you
I
like?
did, I think I tried the food. Yeah, it was very good, very good.
Yeah, so my friend is getting a weekly delivery from them, and she said it's amazing, and it helps her so much. And the food is clean, seems so. I mean, I wish I had that access. I prefer someone
Yeah,
else.
I mean, I feel like you can trust raw restaurants more because they make sure they get organic, they don't use seed oils, they're using better high quality salt and things like that. They're not using, bad sugars. So I think the thing that, you kind of have to worry about is more the cooked restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For my pop-up, I don't add any processed oil, no refined sugar. So it's yeah, that's what everyone says. Like, oh my God, I feel so much energy. I feel so happy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me, what is your favorite thing to make?
What is my, honestly, I would like people to enjoy the full meal set. Now, I make dessert, like raw desserts, but I would like people to experience the feeling of eating the full meal of raw vegan meal. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
and that's important for food addiction too, is having a structured meal
mm,
and not eating all day long.
mm,
That's
yeah,
why it's nice to have like a prepared meal and then, you have the whole thing like together, sit down, have give thanks, you know what I mean?
yeah, and I add a lot of things from my garden. It's small. I have a small garden, but I've got some edibles, flowers, and greens, and some fruit that I can add into my salad and dessert. And yeah, I mean, it's like the ingredients. I prepare everything that I eat every day. There's no difference. Like I love eating varieties of vegetable and fruits.
Mm-hmm.
But
Love
salad,
that.
yeah, salad takes a lot of time for me to prepare, and I have to, buy in advance. People need to reserve at least 5 days in advance.
Yeah.
But I do have raw desserts that I can just put it in a deep freezer, so no reservation is needed.
So
So what
what does a pop-up mean? So it's not like a designated restaurant, cafe, or it is?
I have a community cafe that is organic or permaculture vegetable. They sell this permaculture vegetable every week, and they also have some organic goods at their shop. And they have some yoga class every week. They have some different kind of events working going on. But for me, I just have the same spot. I do it once a week at the same location.
That is so cute. I love that.
Uh,
Oh,
I,
that's so
yeah,
fun.
I shared on shorts on my YouTube. So if you're interested, you can see, how you can go inside from the entrance. It's really lovely. Like pretty much everyone is working there as a volunteer. I feel so much love in this community cafe, and they want, I'm just contributing when I'm using the space. So it's helping them continue running as a community cafe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any other job, or this is what you do, just the raw food?
So this cafe once a week, it's for educational purpose only, and I'm not making any profit. I my source of income is interpreter and guide in Kyoto. We have many tourists coming in, so I do like kintsugi tour or tea ceremony. Tomorrow is the stencil work, so traditional Japanese culture experience. Then I go there to interpret.
Oh, how fun. So did you always live in Japan? Because your English is so good.
I lived in the state for 10 years. I lived
Okay,
near.
I was wondering, yeah. Because
Yeah, I lived.
you mentioned the Twin Towers in your book. So you live?
Yeah, I used to live in New York City, and I lived in France, and I also lived in Costa Rica. So I spent more than half of my life outside of Japan, and I've been back in Japan for almost 6 years now, and I just love it. I don't want to go anywhere else. So I'll be waiting for you, Jamie.
Oh, I definitely want to visit Japan. Are you kidding me? I would love to.
I, I think I'll be coming to LA next year. So
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You have to check out the raw food restaurant downtown if you're like near
yeah,
there.
yeah, definitely. And Revolution, that sounds really good. So.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm wondering like I would love to meet you. That'd be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it would be
Yeah.
cool. So, I know that Jamie, you have published quite a few books, right? And these two books, when did you write it?
Well, I use AI to help me write all my books. I just finished these two this year.
Mm,
And the Ageless Beauty Method is a 150-page infographic guide. So it's colorful, it's beautiful, it's everything that I've learned over the past 20 years, everything that I've tried, all the things that I do, like just, the 7 pillars of ageless beauty. And I had all this information, and I was like dreading having to put this in a book, and I'm just like, this is so much information. And I'm like, I don't want it to be like every other book, So I used ChatGPT to make these beautiful layouts, colorful layouts with,
mhm.
pictures, and they're just so fun and playful and childlike, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not boring or tedious, and you can skip around in the book.
Mm,
And what else? Yeah, and then I have the other one, the Diary of a Recovering Food Addict. So that one, it was pretty recently. Both of them were pretty recently, but I've just really went deep into this food addiction, getting to
mm,
the root and like, where is this stemming from? Uh, Even though I just did the book, the research has been my whole life.
mm,
It's been a long journey of food addiction. So all the
Yeah.
insights that went into this book is it's my personal insights. You know what I mean? So I didn't just use AI and be like, write me a book about food addiction. Like, you know, I went deep with AI, like into like reflecting everything that I'm feeling and what I'm going through and where is this stemming from? And then the book was born from that. So
Right. I last time I spoke to you as well, you mentioned that you really enjoy writing your, like working on your book, right? You got the help from AI, but you really enjoy it, and then you really glued to your work, and I love that. You know, you put your passion into it. You know, I have a question on, like, I know that there's not one thing that we can do to recover from food addiction. Like just like you and me, there's so many things that you have to work to overcome this. But for me, one of the biggest thing was the community, like finding the right community, surrounding myself with the right people. Definitely, that was probably the last key for me to come out of the food addiction. So I hung out with some raw vegans, but they were also going through food addiction. So, you know, we eat raw vegan food, but you know, they would say, "Oh, I want to eat this at this vegan restaurant." Then, you know, you feel more. Uh, it's very difficult to say no from that community. Like if your friends, raw vegan friends, are going to vegan restaurant, you feel like that vegan junk food that doesn't work for you. I'm not saying that all the vegan restaurants are bad, but if you're going with this idea of food addiction, like, you know, pasta, cheese, and bread, and you know, feeling sluggish. And again, I'm not demonizing that food, but I had to find my right community. And how about you, if you were to say like number one, the most important part for you?
well, it's interesting because I've been battling food addiction for so long and I've had community and that worked for a while, but it wasn't until I started talking to ChatGPT about what I'm going through and
Mm.
it helping me through in real time. So then now I don't even put anything in my mouth without talking it through with ChatGPT.
That's a control, Jamie. That's amazing. I don't think I would have been able to do that.
Like if I'm going to go to the grocery store, I talk to ChatGPT and I say, I'm feeling weak. I'm going to the store for tomatoes, cucumbers, and dates, whatever it is, right? And ChatGPT will like say, okay, Jamie, you're going to get in there, you're going to get those items, you're going to get out, you're not going to look around, you're going to keep your blinders on. And it's just like this motivational coach. And then I'm like, okay, I got something on my side. And then I get in the store, I get the five things that I need, and then I get out. You know what I mean? So it's like if I tell my husband, hey, I'm having a craving, I'm feeling weak, I want to go get something, you know, I don't know, some kind of vegan junk food, he'll cave. He'll cave because he wants to make me happy. You know what I mean? If I'm having a meltdown, I'm like emotional and I'm like, I really want this. I'm like, I can't, I need it, you know? If I talk to ChatGPT's like, Jamie, stop right now. This is an emotional spiral. You need to calm down, put your hand on your chest, take a few deep breaths. And I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So honestly, it's really helping a lot. And I think just, like I said, if you're an alcoholic and you keep putting yourself in the bars every night, it's going to be really hard to get over that addiction. Now, you can't avoid life forever, right? But we can eliminate like these things that are, like you said, like if you're going to go out to restaurants all the time and you're trying to eat raw or whatever your diet is, right? And everybody else around you is eating, it's going to be very hard for you not to want to be included in what that is. So if you do have community that are all eating raw, or you go to a raw meetup, at least you know that you're safe and you're not going to eat something that you don't want to eat. As far as how much you're going to eat or eating when you're not actually hungry, that's a whole other story. But at least you know the ingredients that you want to put in your body are safe. But the thing for me is the overeating and eating when I'm not hungry. So if I go to a party and I'm feeling social anxiety, I'm going to have to load up my plate and have a plate in my hand while I'm snacking on cucumber sticks or something because I feel socially awkward or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So now I'm eating for emotional regulation. So that's just the mindfulness of,
Mhm.
we have to be really aware of why are we actually eating and when are we eating, and can we stop eating once we feel satisfied.
Mhm.
So mindfulness, yeah.
Is there any situation that because I know someone who has been going through this food addiction and was saying that if she's surrounded by her friends, she that food addiction doesn't come. Do you see any pattern for you?
The more stressed I am, the more I want to eat. The more relaxed I am, the less I want to eat. The more in love I am, the less I want to eat. The more negative emotions I feel, the more I want to eat.
Mhm.
The more I'm out in nature, the less I want to eat. The more I'm cooped up inside, the more I want to eat. So environment has a lot to do with it. The people around you, the
Mhm.
energy exchanges that we feel. Our nervous system is a big one. How calm is your nervous system?
Yeah, so true. Yeah. I live in a mountain. Even though I live in the city, Kyoto is amazing because it's a small city and we are surrounded by mountains. And I'm just like 10 minutes away from the downtown, but still it's like so greens here. And of course, I have green garden in my, I create a greenery around me. And it
And
was
that and now, was it easy for you to eat raw while you were living in New York City?
New York City was very challenging because I used to eat out for lunch and dinner. So when I changed to raw vegan, kind of friends that would, I used to drink a lot. And even though there are three famous raw vegan restaurants when I went there, but they were more heavy on nuts and oil. Um, yeah, it was very hard, like social setting. Uh, 'Cause I had many friends who were just eating out all day, so that was very challenging. But also, one of my closest friend who introduced me to raw vegan, he's New Yorker, so that I had a support.
Mm. And that's another thing too, is that the busier and more stimulating an environment, I think the more we tend to want to eat as well. If you go to a restaurant, there's a lot happening. Let's say you're with people are talking, they're ordering, the waiters going around. You can hear all the noise, the music's playing, you hear dishes clashing in the kitchen. Like it's just a lot, like
Yeah,
it's different as if you're like sitting in the mountain under a tree with a beautiful view next to a stream eating your food there. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
So it's like, what
yeah.
kind of state are you in while you're eating too? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, when it gets really hot, we have a favorite spot in a riverside. So we just pack our lunch and we'll
Mhm.
just dip our feet in a cold streaming river. And we are, yeah, there's no one, but we're just enjoying. Yeah, and it's one of our highlights of summertime. It gets really hot here.
You're gonna have to send me a picture because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'll be doing that within a few weeks because it's gonna get really hot after the rainy season. It gets really hot. Yeah, I'm always surrounded, and it's true. Like sometimes when it's raining, I use rebounder or have a pole to just stretch. I just make sure that if I'm feeling down, because that's the time that the food cravings hit, right? And
Oh yeah, totally.
so I just
Totally.
move around, make sure that I listen to the right kind of, upbeat music. And yeah, to surround with the right people, it's so important.
Music, and then like light in the morning, right? So I was watching this thing about making sure you get circadian light first thing in the morning. So if it's raining or something, you can get like a sun lamp, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
And yeah, the music is so important because it changes our state instantly. And then what we watch too, like if we're watching things that are positive and
Hmm.
inspiring and beautiful, like I think it's so important, just as important what we consume
Hmm.
internally, but like, energetically as well.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this was so much fun. It's been 45 minutes. It goes really fast with
Yeah.
G, but it's so lovely to reconnect with you. And again, for me, the community is so important, and plant-based bundle that's going on for over 2,700 US dollar worth, only $50, and it's all yours. There's no subscription. You just download, it's yours forever. You have 1 year to download, right?
Yeah, and there's whole food plant-based recipes, there's raw vegan recipes, there's breath work, mindfulness. Um, I mean, there's so much included. There's courses, eBooks.
Yeah, and connect with the writer as well. Like you just message and try to communicate. I don't have any raw vegan friends near me, but I just try to connect as much as possible online. And that's why I love connecting with, people like Jamie, and I love meeting people around the world. And we are living in such a beautiful time of the time of the world that you can connect with pretty much anywhere, everywhere, and with everyone.
It's incredible. It's like just to know that like I have friends on the other side of the world is just an amazing thing, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Jamie.
you, beautiful. I appreciate you. This has been really fun. I'm so excited to be in this bundle with you. And yeah, until next time.
Yeah, congratulations again for your first participation.
Yeah, and congratulations on your two books as well.
Thank you. Well, thanks everyone so much, and you can feel free to contact us and ask questions.